I get you hyped up, baby. I don't even know your name, little woman. I don't even know your age. But there's something about you, girl, when I see you whining in front of the stage. Please forgive me, please excuse me, but there's nothing else that a man can do. I can't help myself, little woman. I just need to be next to you. Before the end of the night, I wanna hold you so tight. You know I want you so much, and I'm so tempted to touch. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna need you so much. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna fix like a touch. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna need you so much. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna fix like a touch. I wanna squeeze you, I wanna hug and kiss and caress you. I wanna love you, I wanna touch you. I can place you all on to love you. I wanna feel you, I wanna squeeze you. I wanna touch and kiss and caress you. I wanna love you, I wanna love you. You know what I wanna wake up and love you. Before the end of the night, I wanna hold you so tight. You know I want you so much, and I'm so tempted to touch. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna need you so much. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna fix like a touch. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna need you so much. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I'm gonna fix like a touch. Before the end of the night, I wanna hold you so tight. You know I want you so much, and I'm so tempted to touch. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I wanna need you so much. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch. I don't know what I wanna fix like a touch. Tempted to touch, tempted to touch.
All right, all right, all right. We are doing part two of F Bomb Friday. Y'all already know what time it is. I am so pumped up. Let me tell y'all, I'm stoked. I am stoked because y'all know I always am very excited when we have a guest on. But um, let me tell you, there are a few people that I always say, few people that I meet that match my type of energy. And so when I meet those type of people, I'm always so excited to bring them to introduce to the stage, to the Glow Show, to the Glow Nation, my colored community, and so on and so forth. And so this brings me to mention the upcoming guest that will be joining us for this powerful hour. And I guarantee you it will be powerful. So I thank you all for tuning in and rocking with us on this Friday, or as we like to call it, on Friday. Well, we're going to be discussing female healing. And what does that look like? What does that feel like, especially for someone that is an expert in energy and in healing as an energy therapist, right? But we're going to be getting into it. We're going to be getting into it and having a great conversation. Y'all know that it would not be Friday. It would not be right without my also host in the building, that is Mr. Hood Honey himself. The Hood Honey himself, Trey, coming out of Cleveland. And we are going to be bringing to the stage and to the panel, to the Glow Show. Y'all give him, put up y'all glowers for Mr. Josh. Ooh, and this is French and so sexy, y'all. Josh Peltier. Ooh, say that right. We're going to, he says, up here.
Good morning.
Hello, hello, hello.
How we doing?
So funny with that. Hi, how are you?
I am
We are doing
fantastic.
very well.
Absolutely.
We are doing very well. Go ahead and you said what?
I said I'm fantastical. Absolutely.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And I love when you say that because it always bumps up the energy a notch or two. So we are going to have you absolutely introduce yourself. Mr. Africa has just joined the chat. Hello, Africa. How are you? I'm gonna have to play the Toto song for you one day, Africa. I bless the rains down in there. Ooh, y'all, I'm hitting the high notes. Okay. But we are going to have such an awesome hour here today, Josh. Tell everyone a little bit about what you do, about your background, and about how you got into. Because you said something very powerful to me. I remember the first time we spoke. You said that your client focused on the most because Black women really needed this type of therapy, this type of help. I want us to really talk about that, especially as we expressed in the first hour. And if you all are rocking with us with it for the second hour, thank you so much. But as we expressed earlier with Trey and I, when we were talking in the previous hour about Aaliyah and what's going on with all of these missing Black women, right? Um, talk about talk about that statement because I always that really stuck with me. That was our first conversation, and you said that, and I never thought about Black being therapy more than anybody else. But want to chop it up and let's really dig into that profound statement. But I'm going to put myself on mute because I want everyone to just hear you.
Okay, very good. First of
And
all,
I want everyone to just hear you, so I'm going to put myself on mute and I'm going to cam off. Okay.
Courtney, I want to say thank you for taking the time out and allowing me to be a part of this fantastical production. I am Joshua Peltier. I am an energy therapist. Everything is energy, and energy is indeed everything. What I do is to help people release the negative energy that is in the body, which causes the pain. Once the negative energy is allowed to leave, then the pain sometimes wants to follow. Understand all of emotional trauma causes physical pain. So what I do is I do energy healing massages where I activate the meridians, open up the pathways in the body, create a place and a tunnel for the energy to leave. And once the energy leaves, more than likely you will feel better. In some cases, it can happen in 2 minutes, maybe 30 seconds. And in some cases, it may take 90 minutes, 2 hours. Depends on how serious or dire your pain and the challenges you've dealt with throughout your entire life are inside of you. Every single thing you've ever seen, heard, witnessed, and or been a part of is always going to be a part of you. Your subconscious remembers every single thing that has happened, even if your conscious does not have the ability to remember, but your subconscious has stored that emotion someplace and it can be physical when it wants to escape. All pain is just negative energy wanting to leave the body. I'm going to say that again. All pain is just negative energy that wants to leave the body. All I do is put people in a place and a state of being. And all I do is allow that energy to come to the surface and allow it to come out. People always get this misnomer misconstrued. We are human beings, not humans doing. If you just be, the energy will flow through and it will come out. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 sessions. Sometimes it happens, like I said, in 5 minutes. It doesn't really attain itself to what will happen. The only thing that will happen is if you are open to the process, then the process will take its course. What Courtney is speaking about when we first met is I have a whole project, a whole program called Heal the Black Woman. The Black woman is the most ridiculed, talked about, digested, infested, the most dissected, the most um, poked at, prodded, the most put on a pedestal and taken off of a pedestal person or human in the entire world. Nobody has to deal with the same challenges that the Black woman has to deal with. The Black woman always has to be somebody else depending on their situation. So if they go to work, they have to be somebody else. If they go to pump gas or meet somebody in the grocery line, they have to be somebody else. If they're shopping for shoes, they have to be somebody else. If they're home with their kids, with their husband, they always have to play these different roles. Unlike the white woman, who is able to be herself and not be judged whatever she does. She can act like a Karen. She can be a host of a TV show. She can be not want to deal with her kids. She can be whatever. She always gets a pass. So the black woman has to deal with so much more. And what happens subconsciously and psychologically, it starts to wear down on the person, and it starts to deteriorate the immune system, starts to break down all kind of body parts, which causes the back to hurt, which causes you to have neck challenges, insomnia, which causes your feet to hurt, what causes your hips to hurt, what causes inflamed parts of your body, which causes your digestive system not to work, all because you have to deal with so much more than everybody else. And the black woman is not able to just be. On my table, you're allowed to just be. I don't care about your past. This is not a place for me to judge you. I'm trying to help you heal. Because once the black woman becomes healed, the whole nation will start to heal. The whole understanding of the black dynamic and the black family unit will start to heal. But the black woman is not necessarily broken. It's just that she's carrying so much of everybody else's burden. She never gets to just release all that stuff that she's been dealing with. And it's not something that's talked about, but it's something that is very real. It's very real in the fact that when you go through life and people are nitpicking at you all the time, after a while, it's going to start to hurt. Either too short, too tall, too dark, too light. Hair is too long, not long enough. Then it's nappy, then why is your hair straight? You're either too fat, too skinny, you're either too dark, too light, you're either too something. But the black woman is just not allowed to just be. Just be, which is a very simple concept. But in the society that we're dealing with, all the media, with all of the music that is promoted, with how black women are treated in everyday society, it becomes very, very strenuous and stressful on the mind, the heart, the body, and the soul of the black woman. So what I do is I just allow the black woman to heal. I do breathing techniques. We do movement techniques. We do table talk, and we have all kind of exercises that help you release that stuff so you can feel good about yourself. Once you're able to release all the stuff that you've been holding on, I mean for years, for decades, for centuries, maybe from the time you were born, even to the time you were conceived, when you're able to get all that stuff out of your system, you're able to feel better. And then you can walk in such a way where you're able to do things the way that I help other people and yourself. So that's what that does in a nutshell. I hope that wasn't too long or not long enough. I can talk for another 27 hours about what I does. All I does is energy work. And I can send energy remotely and I can send it in person. So if you're watching this broadcast right now, if you may be feeling a tingling sensation going up your back to calm you right now, that's me sending some positive energy. Good stuff. Courtney, whenever you want to jump in, jump in.
Well, a couple of questions came up as you were talking, which was great. I have a couple for myself. I know Trey is going to do a couple as well. So I'm going to start though with the room, Josh, because you said a lot that to be unpacked, and I know you go 27 hours, but we we're gonna see how long we're gonna. But okay, first and foremost, I want to ask this, and this is an honest question. I think that we've had a lot of conversations, and I haven't even asked you this, but what do you think that the black woman at the same time so revered, but at the same time so disrespected. Why is that the case?
Okay, so there's a theory in black culture that is very seldom talked about, and it comes from a perspective of the melanin, which is very unique to African people. The melanin has the ability to be creative, be strong, be intuitive, be thought provoking, withstand a lot of stuff. They've even done studies on how black babies are able to sit up quicker and stronger than white babies. This has been diagnosed many a times that you'll see a white baby crawl a lot longer than a black baby will start to walk. The melanin is so impactful in the African American race that it has the ability to do anything. Now, the beautiful thing about that, black people have always been able to figure stuff out. We've always been able to create anything we want. Other races do not have that mental fortitude. It doesn't mean that they're stronger, smarter, faster, whatever. They just don't have that creative gene. It's just not as fluent as it is with African American people. So, as what's happening now, I remember when I was in high school and they used to talk about the black girls when they wear weave. They used to talk about the black girls when they wear their wigs. They used to try to talk about the black when they wear their braids. Now, all of these other races are doing the exact same thing that they try to ridicule black people about. It's very difficult to watch a newscast without watching a white woman who has hair extensions. And they are ridiculous to the point where you can even spot it out from a distance. So I'm saying all that to say is they love the culture. They don't necessarily want to accept the people. They love to take on the dances. They love to jump on the music. They love to jump on the fashion, jump on the clothes. I saw a young boy the other day. He had to be probably 7, 8 years old. He was rapping all of these new hip hop songs, but I don't even know. I look back, he didn't look nothing like me. That boy was white as all get out. And his parents was just comfortable with it. And I was like, this is interesting. They love the culture. They don't necessarily want to accept the people. So they'll love to touch your hair. They'll love to put their fingers through it and then go copy it. But then they want to break you down because they don't want to make you feel good about yourself. Because if you feel too good about yourself, then we got to change the whole dynamic. Then we have to accept all of the wrongdoing that we've done in the past. So it's easy to promote instead of to accept, if that makes any sense. So it's easy to revere, it's easy to pump up, but when it comes to a situation where, somebody gets in trouble and there's a right and wrong, they'll just be quiet. If that makes any sense.
I wholeheartedly agree. I'm gonna put a couple of thank you so much, Wisdom. You are really working the room. Thank you so much. I'm making sure these glow up, and we are putting up these glow for Josh, and we're to have Josh's contact information, his website up in a little bit, so that you'll all know where to go visit to if you want to engage with more conversation. However, Snuggles says you sound like you're pandering. Snuggles has always been a bit of a hard edge in the room. However, I do want to ask a question that he posed earlier, which I think is actually more so appropriate to this conversation. Um, and that was in regard to what do you have to say about some of the artists or some of the business owners that are black women, but they are in the business of perpetuating some of these same difficulties as opposed to creating solutions. So Snuggles mentioned the artist Trina, as well as Madam C.J. Walker.
Okay. If anybody understands how the hip hop game works, or the music industry, really. The artist does not have a lot of power until you get to a certain status, until you make enough hits, until you've done enough. You really don't control anything. The main thing that media and music is set up to do is set up to sell records. It's set up to disseminate a kind of concept that doesn't help people but puts more money in their pocket. Trina is just a daggone, I don't want to call her a puppet, but she is just a part of the whole music industry. Understand, this is very important. The music industry is different than making music. The music industry is called an industry on purpose because it is designed for everybody above the artist to make money. There's a contract that I just heard about recently called the 360 contract, where a lot of artists are subjected to do all of these things that the record label wants them to do, but they're not able to own anything, nor are they able to do the stuff that they want to do personally. It's a very tricky understanding that they will promote you, they will throw money out in front of you, but they don't necessarily give you that money. I did a program with T.I. before back in the day, and he spoke to the young people and he told them, he said, all of that money you see is just for show. He said, as the video is over, somebody comes and picks up all that money, counts it, and takes it back to the bank. He said, it's not what you see, it's not what you think. But how the image works, how the mind works, if you continue to promote, this sort of lifestyle, if this is the way that you can make money, people are going to want to copycat it. People don't want to go on a copycat it. It doesn't mean that Trina is a bad person. She just wants to make money. And this is an opportunity for her to put money in her pocket. At the same time, she might be hurting or hindering the black race, especially the black female mindset, but she's creating income for herself. Now, Madam C.J. Walker is a very tricky subject because if we go back, and I don't know how deep you want to take this, but if you go all the way back when we were kings and queens in Africa, and then all of a sudden there was a shift where we were no longer kings and queens in Africa, we now had to be submissive to somebody else's understanding. So they placed people on a boat. They took us from all the way from Ghana, all the way to America, dropped us off in other kind of English colleges and all the other places. We lost a lot of our identity. We lost a lot of who we are. And Madam C.J. Walker is a good and bad example of how America operates. Because at the same time, you're losing your identity by trying to be like somebody else. Her whole products made a bunch of sense because it was to straighten the hair so you can look like another race. At the same time, where this was good for some people, you start to lose yourself in the process. You start to say that the way that your hair looks naturally is wrong. You start to say that I'm supposed to look like them to be accepted, but we've never been given an opportunity to accept ourselves. So once again, Madam C.J. Walker is a wonderful story. It's a beautiful concept, but at the same time, the reason this is what that was left out of the story and what a lot of people understand, she got backing from a lot of white people who supported her because they knew what was happening. We're further separating you from your past. And once you are able to separate somebody from who they are much easier to control. And the challenge that a lot of people don't have, or a lot of people are not understanding, these perms are causing so many challenges in the body. I have actually taken 1, 2, 3 people to get their fibroids because of specifically the chemicals that they were putting in their hair. So many challenges are coming with these people's hair. And it's because of a mindset that was implemented a long time ago that if we have to be successful or accepted, we have to look like certain people. But once again, we never have the ability to look or be ourselves, if that makes any sense. And I don't think I'm pandering, Snuggles, Snuffleupagus, or Bubbles. I am speaking facts from my perspective, if that makes any sense. I don't know what happened to Courtney, if she's still on or not. I can't see anything in the chat. Oh, there she comes. Hood
Oh,
honey.
what's up, man? I'm in the show now.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You, you was spitting. You was spitting, brother. Um, I liked what you had to say. I kind of understood what you were saying too. Um, I liked how you broke all that down. I didn't know that about perms and fibroids also. I knew it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? But I did have a couple questions for you, man. Um, I had a couple questions. Let me see where to start. Um, okay, so I'm gonna start here. What are some good healing environments for Black women? You know, in America, most of us are in urban environments. They may not be able to get to you. They may forget how to get to you. They may not know anybody like you. What's a good place for them to go or to create some kind of environment to create a good healing space for Black women specifically?
That is a really good question. That is a question I get a lot, by the way, because I can't be everywhere. But there are some simple things that could change your mindset. What people have a hard time understanding is every single thing in life is communication. But before that, every single thing in life is energy. So you are either accepting negative or positive energy, or you're giving out negative or positive energy. There's no such thing as good energy. There's no such thing as bad energy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
energy is always relative. There is positive and negative because if it makes you feel a certain way, that means that energy is attached to something else. So, what you want to do, it doesn't matter where you live at. It doesn't matter if you live in the inner city. It doesn't matter if you live in a high rise. It doesn't matter if you live on the street, as a matter of fact. This is very true. You want to find a place where you can put your feet in the ground. And when I say in the ground, I mean on top of grass. It's called grounding. You take your shoes, you take your socks off. You just put your feet in the ground and start to dig your toes in the ground. You can go in the front yard if you want to. Just do it for 5 minutes a day. And while you're doing it, you place your hands up, you place your palms up. And if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in spirit, you just allow the energy to flow through you. You can feel it coming in your hands down to your feet. And while you're doing it, you just want to go off and talk about all the things that you're grateful for. No matter what you have, I guarantee you have something to be grateful for. If you're grateful for almond milk, if you're grateful for the fact that you have a place to lay your head, if you're thankful for hot water, every time I get out the shower, I thank God for the hot water. Because I was in Belize and they didn't have hot water all the time. And you don't realize how important that is or valuable that is until you don't have it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really easy. You can do it with your whole family. You can go to a park and just put your feet in the ground, take your shoes and socks off, and just close your eyes, put your hands to the sky, and just start saying all the things that you're grateful for. Because the problem, I shouldn't say problem, I don't like using that word problem. The challenge is people think they're too busy to just be.
Yep,
People
that's so
think
true.
they don't have time to just be. You always have time to just be. What
Can
happens when you ground yourself, you are aligning the mental, the physical, and the spiritual part of who you are with the universe which you're connected to.
hmm
It's just that easy. It's just that simple.
and I gotta agree with you. Um, I love to ride my bike everywhere.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
And, you know, I try to tell people to just take time to just, like you say, just be. Take time to enjoy simple things like a commute to work. There's nothing wrong with walking to the store, you know, and actually interacting with people instead of just driving by them. Sometimes that interaction is good, you know, but like you were saying, like just getting outside and touching nature. I'm a bee farmer, so I'm really in tune with nature.
Dope.
So, well, not a bee farmer, a honey farmer, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm really in tune with nature, so I got to give you one on that one. I got another question.
Go ahead.
You talked about melanin. Okay. How now, like you say, it's something about black people, It's not that nobody's creative, it's just that the way we're creative is special. How do we get the most out of that? How do we make our melanin more efficient?
Very good. This is all really good questions. Really good questions. Do you know what the largest organ on the body is?
The skin?
The skin. Very good. Do you know where you can get the most vitamin D from?
The sun.
The sun. Very good. The easiest way to interact with your melanin to increase its particle being, to expand your mindset, is to go outside. Take your phone, turn it off, and leave it inside. Go outside. When people say it's so hot out, that's the best time for
That's
you
the
to go
point.
outside. That's the best time. You need to sweat out those toxins. You need to come in contact with the energy source. If you know anything about crystals, a lot of people will take their crystals and leave them outside for a whole day. So the sun can absorb them, whatever. Nobody can touch their crystals except them. It's the same thing with melanin. What happens is, if you're allowing your body to come in contact with the nature, allowing the sun to re-energize your being, you're going to have all kind of thoughts that's going to come to you from nowhere. Once these thoughts come around, it's going to give you the ability to want to do something. The reason, and I don't know if this has actually been researched or diagnosed, but Africa is right next to the equator. It's burning up. So the sun comes in contact with the people to the point where their energy rises on a subatomic level because it's so much. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds good. It sounds like it makes sense. But in other areas where there's not that much sun, people are down. Their emotions are low. Places such as simple as Seattle, where it rains a lot, where the clouds are covering. Cleveland, people, Detroit, people are not in the happiest places. But you go to Florida, people outside California, it's a different kind of energy because the sun is so available.
Yep.
We're supposed to have 20 to 30 minutes of sunlight every day.
Yeah, and in a place like Cleveland or Detroit, wintertime, we might see the sun once a week, if that. And if we see it, it's for a short period of time. I mean, this is probably the darkest you're gonna see me.
Really?
I'm actually starting to get lighter now.
Okay, well, I'm usually way darker than this. But
hey, brother, listen, I was a baseball coach for 10 years, so
I played baseball in high school, middle school, and all that stuff. So
right.
Yeah, people understand baseball will get you that tan.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I spent a lot of time outside working with kids, coaching, and really enjoying the sun. Before I knew about melanin, before I knew anything, I just knew I wanted to be outside and just feel the sun on my skin.
That's beautiful.
Once
Wonderful.
I stopped thinking it was hot outside, I started to feel good to feel that summer sun because I knew it was time for baseball. I knew I could grow some things in my garden, and interact outside, versus being inside in the wintertime. When it's wintertime, you're basically living inside of a cave.
All the time.
You just
it's very
go
depressing.
from one cave to the next. You go from your cave home to your cave car to your cave job.
That's right.
To the cave store and back again. We're never outside.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Another question. Another question. Let's see. So, in this knowledge,
No.
that
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Somebody
oh,
said, can
okay.
negative energy be good? No. Go ahead.
In
I'll
this
break it down.
knowledge,
Uh-huh.
that's actually a good point right there. He's asking you a question. How did you get to this point where you could talk about it? Like where did you start? Where can we find this information? Like, if I'm a black woman or black man who's ever listening to here, and something that you said is interesting, where can we start?
Um, Very good. Really good questions. I was blessed by having two parents who were excellent communicators. I mean, some of the best that I've ever seen. And they both come from both different sides of the spectrum. My mother, who was a PhD, who helped four people get their PhDs, and also two other people get Teacher of the Year in China. Very brilliant woman. My father only graduated the eighth grade, but he read every single thing he could find. By reading, he was able to learn how to talk to people. By talking to people, he became an excellent communicator. He had his own contracting business that he's had in Kansas City for about 40 something years. So I'm very blessed to be around people who always communicated with other people extremely well. I was very lucky to see how they talked to people no matter where they were on the spectrum. If a person was a crackhead or owned a business, my father could talk to them in the same way. If there was a person who wanted to drop out of school or then they want to be a PhD, my mother could talk to them in the same way. So I was blessed with that opportunity. And what I found by me being able to talk, I started to research how valuable that was. So I took up communications. I went to Fisk University for undergrad, and for Howard University, I went to film. But by me talking to so many people, I run into so many people. And it was one time I ran into a guy and he was just looking at me sideways. And I was like, why are you looking at me like that? And his name was Byron Ezel. He said, you're not from here. I said, no, I'm not from DC. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. He said, no, you're not from here. I said, I know. He said, no, 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 no. You might be an alien. I said, what? I said, I don't know if that's true or not. He said, trust me on this. There's something very unique about you. So I took that to heart. Then I just continued to talk to people and keep on running into folk. Then one day, I had a girlfriend. Not one day, but I had a girlfriend. We were dating. I put my hands around her face, and she started giggling. It's like, I said, why are you laughing? She was like, nothing. Don't do that again, but do it again. So, okay. So I did it again. She's like, I said, what? She said, there's this energy that's flowing through my body every single time you put your hands next to my face. I said, really? She said, yeah. I said, so I started looking it up and I looked up, it's this thing called prana. And prana is just universal life force energy. In Japan, they call it ki. In China, they call it chi. That's all it is. I'm just absorbing the universal energy, letting it flow through me and connect with other people. Then, by me running my mouth once again, I was able to come across a black yogi. I told the black yogi what I was doing, what I was trying to do, and he said, I can help you. And I said, you sure? I said, because I've been talking to people and they look like I'm sideways. He said, not a challenge. So he actually taught me transcendental meditation. And I had to go through an entire ceremony. I had to do this ritual. It was very interesting. I had to bring all of these specific items to this ritual. And he taught me this word or this sound. And he said, say this sound, say it again, say it in your head, never repeat it out loud again. And he said, when you meditate, say that over and over again. And just keep on saying it, keep on saying it, keep on saying it. And it will enhance what you're trying to do. It will connect you to what your purpose is in life and what your being is. People understand that. Sometimes people are going through life, but they don't know their purpose. But if you figure out your purpose, it will magnify and enhance your being. So I did that and I've been doing it and it's been amazing what it's been doing for me. I have really just been trying to be the best that I can be to help people be better. And another thing that I did, and I'll never forget this, I specifically, one time I was meditating and I said, God, I want to be able to help people heal. And I could feel him and hear him say, okay, there you go. And I said, okay, just that easy, just that easy. Because all of energy is just absorbed. I don't absorb any energy, believe it or not. When a lot of stuff be coming off of people, sometimes you can see it. I had a young man who said he saw all kind of colors shoot out of his hand with this one technique that I do, and he felt all of that weight that was on his shoulders. He actually tried to kill himself and was mad that he didn't. And I said, that's just negative energy built up trying to mess with how you look at the world. I said, let's pull that out, and you probably won't have those same thoughts anymore. We got that stuff out of him. He's still alive. So chalk that up as a win. So yeah, I fell into it by accident, but it came across by me running my mouth to people. I talk to everybody. I talk to everybody. I'm talking to kids. I'm talking to adults. I'm talking to ex-cons. I've done whole programs inside prisons. I've worked with at-risk kids. I've worked, you name it. Don't matter what color they are. If they can talk and they can listen, I can communicate. And that ability has helped me to come in contact with so many things. So yeah, that's how I came across it. If that makes any sense. I see you, but I don't hear you.
Loving you talk about yes. I just love hearing you talk about, and don't worry, Trey is still here, so he heard all, and he's definitely nodding in agreement. He's just backstage. But I love when you talk about the significance and the importance of communicate, because let me tell you something. The reason why that's so important, Josh, when I tell you I vibe with you, I means that. But I'm from Miami. I'm not from Miami, like I wasn't born there. That's where about a good decade of my life, right? And that's where I just moved up from, back up to Atlanta. And let me tell you something, no job knows that this is a real feat, but there was no job that ever was refused in Miami, because I spoke only one language, and they said, can you speak what's your language? I said yes. Yes. And it wasn't because I didn't speak Spanish, I didn't speak Creole, French, what have you, but they always assumed that I could, because I could communicate with all. I said I spoke one language. I spoke yes. I spoke love. I spoke said we could, and I said it didn't matter what it was. I worked in a gym at one of the highest one of the highest demographics of Latin guests. Um and they said, how are you able to have guests speaking? I said, because we all understand this.
Hmm.
We understand this. We understand the narrow. We understand that. We understand what that means. And that's basically what they want. They just want to know how much is it for whatever, tool or whatever instrument or whatever activity that they wanted to use within the gym. We understand that. The same thing when I worked as a social worker. I understand this, understand what mom is. So someone said this, I know they want help for their kids. It didn't matter. And I think that it's so profound in what you said in regards to being a communicator is where that starts. Wanting to hear people, because you have to hear people. So needing to connect with people is just so profound. We have a couple people that have joined the room, and I want to just shout out to them. Wisdom, thank you again so much for holding down the room. You're amazing. Koja Malik, my Florida sister, always love you here. Thank you. And Sir Anthony, yes, good evening, my dear distinguished gentlemen, brethren. Good evening. So I put down your email address here, Josh. But how are some ways people you? How would you like them to go about doing that? I put your email address down, but please let me know of any other information you want me to post up in here.
No, that's a beautiful way to get in contact with me. You can also give them my phone number,
Good.
uh, 404
Okay.
4266. 404 590 4266. If I do not pick up, just leave me a message. I will gladly get back with you. You can also learn more about what I does by looking at my magazine. And my magazine is real simple. It's bit.ly / the Josh Effect. So it's bit.ly / the Josh Effect. So bit.ly / the Josh Effect. You can learn about all of this stuff and some of the people that I've worked with and some people I've helped. I've worked with cases from fibromyalgia to shingles to liver and uterine cancer, diabetes, migraines, insomnia, anxiety, post traumatic stress disorder. You name it, it's all energy. It's all negative energy. And somebody put a question in the chat. Can negative energy be good? No. Negative energy cannot be good. It's very simple, and this is very important to understand. When you see the plus sign, some people call it a cross, whatever you want to call it, plus means positive. When it is positive, it's adding to. If you see negative, no matter how negative it may be, it's subtracting from you. So if you're coming in contact with some negative energy and you think it's a good idea, it's not, because that negative energy is pulling out of you the negative stuff that it wants to attract. If you get somebody who makes you feel better, it's called emotional contagion. If you walk into a room and you see that person, you automatically feel better. That person's energy is what made you feel better. But it's the thought of what that person brings to the table what makes you feel better. I walk into a lot of classrooms. I walk with a lot of young people. I'm talking about 4 and 5 years old. And some of the kids I worked with years over and years and years and years. And I come back and they start jumping up and down, going cray cray. And the lady who was a doula was looking at me sideways, like, who is this guy? And I said, I'm just the cool man. I don't know what's going on here. But it's the emotional contagion of what they feel. It's the same way if somebody walks in the room and, oh, here he go again. What's wrong with him? You automatically start to feel a certain way. When people start to say words like, I can't stand that person, they make me sick. If you keep on saying that, you will get sick from being around that person because you have convinced yourself, your subconscious, that that is what happens. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. And going back to the communication thing is very powerful. What people always overlook. We can communicate with our parents, we communicate with our friends, communicate with our family, communicate with our children. But you have to ask yourself, how do you communicate with yourself? How do you communicate with yourself? The main reason that people do not succeed in life is not because of they didn't have the right opportunities, and not because they weren't put in the right positions or the right places. It's because they communicated to themselves that they can't do anything else, so they have to do something else to make money. If you have opportunities in your head, if you communicate that anything is possible, that anything is possible. I went to school for video production. I still can, do music videos, commercials, all that good stuff. I thought I was going to be some big time filmmaker. I thought I was going to win Oscars, Academy Awards, and all that stuff. Once I realized that that was not my purpose, I had to communicate to myself what it was I was here for to help people be better. So it's all about communication. There's nothing in life that's communication, and communication is indeed energy. I have a whole process of how to take the negative out of everything. When you're running down the hallway and you want to stop somebody from running, do you say, don't run? Or you need to do this? Or no, 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 no. What you do is you put the positive. Can you walk so that you can get to class safe? And then you say these words, especially for children. If you walk to class, you'll get to class safer, and that will make me what? Feel better. I'm so glad you made me feel a certain way because you walked to class. The child will then change their mindset about running the hallway because they want to make you feel a certain way. So you take out the negative all the way. You eliminate all the negative. Once you get the negative out your system, everything else is easy. That's correct. Yeah, Bitly, the Josh effect. Copy and paste that right now. Go to your browser and you can learn a lot about what I does. All of the energy work, all of the pathways, all this good stuff. No matter what your challenge is, more than likely it comes from some emotional trauma that caused physical pain. No matter what it is. I just was listening to the radio last night about a young lady who was at a gas station and she heard pop, 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 pop. She thought it was firecrackers. Next thing she know, she looked at her arm and she got shot. She was bleeding like crazy. And this happened probably 12 years ago. And she said she can't go anywhere where there's a loud noise. She can't go any kind of when there's a backfire in a car, she starts to go crazy. If there's firecrackers, if a door slams too loud, she says her anxiety kicks in and she just gets shaky and she can't do nothing. Because the thought of what happened causes the emotion to bring on the physical pain. And it goes back to, and their arm starts hurting all over again. So she hasn't moved on. She hasn't
Yeah.
released that energy that has stuck itself inside of her. Once that energy releases, that fear will go. And then she won't feel the way she feels when she goes places.
You have our last question coming up here. This is from Sir Anthony. And this is a great question about this earlier. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see the question. You want me to answer it?
Please.
Okay, so I, Joshua Peltier, the Dynamite Soul Brother, numero one. I walk around plenty of work, I make money, I have fun. I only operate in two laws. This is it. You don't have to operate in these laws, but these are the only two laws that I operate in. I only operate in allowance and abundance. That's it. Allowance and abundance. If I was to really break this whole thing down, there's nothing that I did to make all of this stuff that's happening for me to help other people. I did not make it happen. I don't have that ability to make things happen. I didn't force it. I didn't create it. It all came to me because I allowed it to. If you believe in God, spirit, universe, whatever you believe in, if you trust in that higher power more than you trust in yourself, then you will start to see things change. So, what I say, and I tell all of my clients to do this, allow what God has for you to happen. I had a person the other day, they said, Josh, I just need to make $5,000 a month and I'll be good. I was like, but what if the universe wants you to make $10,000 a month? You're just going to settle for that 5,000. See, don't put in your brain, which is very, very minute compared to how expansive everything else is. Don't put what you think is enough to what somebody else or what something else may believe is more than what you need. So don't put any small labels on what you think you should have. You are undergirding the ability to believe in the higher power that you say you have. So you cannot stress over that enough. I only operate in allowance and abundance. I allow the universe to give me all of the abundance in which it so desires. If I have a client that cancels on me, that means that we wasn't supposed to be. If I'm going someplace and it starts raining or something, that means I wasn't supposed to be allowed to go there. What happens if you operate in allowance and abundance, you take all of the pressure off of yourself. Because when you think about it, you really can't do anything. You really didn't do it. Stuff happened in your life. People were placed in your life, in your path to make things happen. And another thing, nobody is an island. There's no such thing as being self-made. You need other people. Courtney's texting me right now, but if I hit the text, it's going to go away. I'm not going to be able to see it. I'm going to cut this thing off. So I'm going to answer this real quick. I'm going to answer her text. An easy assignment to do, and I'm giving you, who's ever listening, I'm giving you this for free. I'm giving you this for free. Chalk it up as a win. You can send me some money if you want to. You don't have to, but I'm about to give you a free thing that you can do to operate in a state of abundance. Take a red marker, okay? Take a red marker and get you some yellow paper, all right? It could be the yellow paper with lines. It could be yellow construction paper. But red marker, permanent marker, yellow paper. Fold that paper up into squares, into four, and eights. So you want to have 8 squares on one side, 8 square on the other. You write the things on that thing that you want more of. You want more joy? Write down joy. You want love? Write down love. You want peace? Write down peace. Put all of these words in different squares. All right? What I do, where I'm working on now, I wrote the word abundance. Write the word abundance on a square and you turn it to where abundance is showing. All right, really simple. Now, go get you a cup of water and put it on abundance. And when you're able to put the water on abundance and you drink it, you are now drinking abundance. This is scientific and it is spiritual. They have looked at the chemicals of the water and watch as they change when you place something on the word. It's just that easy. You want to put red and yellow. Yellow helps you to remember. That's the main reason the color yellow, it helps you remember. That's why they put yellow notepads, because it helps you remember what you write. Red is a color that burns an indelible mark in your brain. It's hard to forget the color red because it's so powerful, it's so protruding. I used to have a wall at my other house. And on the wall, people would tell me what they wanted. I just wrote it on red marker and put it on the wall. And every single thing I wrote on that wall came to pass for those people. Every single thing. I used to say the wall works. So get you a piece of paper, fold it up in eights, and you can use both sides. Find the most things that you need in your life that you want, because you don't make things happen. You just allow them to happen. And if you believe in that, then it's going to take place. And every single person I've told, all my clients I've told it to, they have seen a dramatic change on how stuff happens from them. Now, it doesn't have to be abundance in money. It could be abundance in love. It could be abundance in joy. It could be abundance in helping people feel healthy. It could be abundance in just feeling better about yourself. It doesn't always have to be money, but when you write the word and you're drinking the abundance, just you'll start to feel better. It's amazing. You can even take a step further by sleep on the word abundance, put it under your pillow. You can sit on it when you drive it. You can put it everywhere, and you'll start to feel different, if that makes any sense. Now, let me see what Courtney has to say before I get cussed out. I'm going to leave the stream up for 5 more minutes to those of your info. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. I read that. And she is back. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? And what's up? This is profound knowledge, and I can only want to just listen to follow instructions. Okay, congratulations. I don't know if you can hear me, Wisdom, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can't see
But
you, but we can hear you.
son of a black bald eagle. Let's see what we got. No? Oh, well. Okay. I don't know what to do.
Please up because absolutely, Josh has been amazing today. Tell you, if you can go ahead and connect with him, I definitely, if you're thinking about doing it, don't overthink it, just do it. Literally be like Nike when it comes to connecting with Josh. He is like he said, his energy is very palpable, but he makes an earnest effort to hear you. You know, to be find that to be very um I find that to be personally it's very useful, and it's very appealing because there's not a lot of people that you meet a genuine connection. You know, he's not one of those type of people, and frankly, I'm not that type of person. Always value someone that wants to make a genuine connection, and someone who could, I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't know that this is the case for everybody. But if you are thinking about it, if anything that he has said today sparks some type of interest, reach you, please don't overthink it and don't talk yourself out of it, because I promise you, this will be one of those type of connections that weeks or months down the road, maybe even years down the road, you say, hey, I was thinking about it and I never kind of followed through. I can't tell you how many people I meet in my adult life that when we knew each other, may have been in college or may have been when I first worked a particular job. They, oh, I was thinking about therapy, and I'll be like, oh, so what's going on? They'll be like, oh, well, I'm divorced now, or yeah, well, my mom died or my dad died, but when I knew them, kind of sense that they were going through some stuff because, like how the way that our mood is really projection about how we feel about ourselves. It's not about how we feel about other people. And sometimes, like I said, we overthink it and we talk ourselves out of it. But this is a great connection we're making. Please, I am going to for just about 5 minutes for you all to grab his information. I listed his phone number, magazine, and his email. So please sure you, because I know we have some people that came, but y'all know I've enjoyed you all for being a part of this F Bomb Friday. And if you rocked with us the whole 2 hours, y'all put a glower up for yourself. Absolutely. Um, oh, I'm not connecting correctly. Sir Anthony, I heard my playing on another device and I'm crystal clear. I don't know. I don't know. I think we gonna need y'all to connect. But I tell you what will help, Sir Anthony. I actually starting on Monday, I'm gonna be in a professional in-house studio. So it's $100 a month. If you want to kick into that, Snuggles already did. Thank you, Snuggles. But if you want to kick in for that, that would be, oh, let me go. But for me to be in studio. So please, absolutely, you are very welcome to kick in, and I will drop that link for the Cash App so you guys can do that. Thank you. And until next time, y'all know what to do. Glow up.